Hey guys, it's Maverick. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a mask fan. Most of this stuff you can find at Radio Shack. I managed to find it for less than $28. You're going to need a way of connecting and disconnecting the power source unless you want to be cheap, and just get yourself a nice little battery harness. 9 volts will work best for what you're going to be doing with this one, which is we're using a 12 volt DC cooling fan here. So you can't use the AAA or 4AA battery pack or the C's or D's, because you're going to be attaching it to your paintball mask. Unless you plan on attaching it off mask and to your body, but then you're going to have to clamp your mask to your body somehow. So for me, I'm going to make my own wire harness. And I'm going to be using some small zip ties in order to connect it to the mask. Now already you need to make sure that you put your toggle somewhere where it is not going to be hit. So being that most of the mask, when I put it on, it wraps around like this, it doesn't stick out like this. So you'll be able to see me front on, but the switch is hidden back here. So, first thing that you're going to need to do is make sure that you remove your lens. The reason you're going to remove your lens is just because it's a lot easier to work with, and when you attach the fan later, you're going to want it either up here or somewhere in the bottom so that it can take the air away from your face. So when you're directing the fan, it's going to have little indicators as to which way it's going to go. For mine, here's the sticker, and right here is your direction that the fan is going to be going and going to be blowing. So you're going to want to direct the air away from your face. So this is going to be set up like this in the mask. So it's either going to be inside here, or it can be set on top. So if you're going to set it on top, you're going to want to set it in here. So once you remove your lens, you're going to find a safe place to insert your toggle. Like I said before, I generally choose behind the ears because that's going to be back here, and friendly fire shouldn't be an issue. However, if you do get blindsided when you have it inserted here, it's still going to be tucked in. So being that it's tucked in, they're less likely to hit it. And this is a pretty hard button, so it should be able to take a couple of hits, and I don't think it's going to break. So once you put your on-off switch in, by the way, I got all this stuff at Radio Shack. It's pretty cheap. I managed to get this whole mask set up for about 28 bucks. So you put your little washer in there that's going to keep it still, and then you just tighten down the nut. You can use Loctite on it if you want to. I'm just going to leave it like that. It's not going anywhere. Next thing that you're going to do is you're going to begin wiring up the fan and your power source. So while you have your battery connector, you're going to have to wire and twist these both together. Red to red, black to black. That's positive and negative connections. And then you're going to attach them here to these two posts. The posts have little holes in them so that you can wrap it up. And then once you're done doing that, you're going to tie them off with your PVC electrical tape. So you're just taking these two wires, twisting them together, then you're going to insert them through the post. And then twist that connection off. sure that's good and tight. Then you're going to get your electrical tape. Take your small piece of electrical tape and then just put it in between the posts. You're going to tape off that wire. Make sure you got enough here. And then just pass and wrap it around. That way the connection won't be broken. Just like that. And then you're going to repeat the process for the opposite side. So again, we're just taking the wires, matching them up best we can, twisting them together to form one wire. And then feed that through the other post. You got the small hole here. Feed it through. And then just bring it up. Twist that around. Like that. Get your electrician's tape. Again, pass it between the posts. Once you have it passed between the posts, just going to wrap it up. Pass it around a couple times, make sure it's good and snug. There you are. It's all connected. It's not coming off. Now, while I have it at this stage, I want to check and make sure that these are both working before I go any further. So, you take your small fan. You got your 9-volt battery. You're just going to connect the two. Here's your fan. Here's your toggle. Press it. There you go. It's spinning. Has some decent airflow. Now that I've selected the area that I'm going to place it, which is going to be right here, I'm going to trim these corners down using a Dremel. That way when the mask is put on my face, it's not going to be pushing directly on my head. Now I've already comfort fitted this, and right here and right here you can see the mask is rounded, and obviously the fan is square. So with the fan being square, I round that out. It's going to give me a little bit more space. I really don't care if there's something pressed against my forehead. I always wear a headband or a beanie just to keep my mask on a little bit better. I wear a hat and I turn it backwards. That way it protects the back area of my neck. So if I'm turned around and I get friendly fire in the back of the head, I don't feel it. The brim of the hat takes it. So I'm going to trim these and I'll be right back. So now I've dremeled it down a little bit. Add a little bit of a rounding to it. So once you've dremeled it down, you have to cut a small hole in the mask. This was easily done with the Dremel, and then I put a zip tie through it. So I'm going to rotate it back here. It shouldn't interfere with the lens, because the lens just sits above that anyway, as you can see right there, because of the notch here. Your lens is just going to sit above that. And then I had to get a trash bag tie. Real easy. Just cut the thin parts of the metal off. I didn't want to cut the blades, so it runs right along the edge inside there, as you can see. So it runs right along the edge in there. Still hooked up. Toggles on. Give it a tap. There she goes. You can see it spinning away. I also had to trim a little bit of the foam underneath, because if you push down on it, it's going to stop the fan. So, just some toenail clippers. Cut a little indentation right here. And then it'll rest on there, and if you put extreme pressure on it, obviously it's going to stop working. But like I said, it doesn't matter for me, because I mean it's resting right flush with the padding inside of the mask. And that's really about it. The last part, I'm going to take the wires and I'm going to run them along the inside of the mask, and then try and counterbalance the mask here and set the batteries up and zip tie it into position. There are battery clamps, but they were metal, and metal and rubber not really the best of friends, so I'm going to be super uber cheap and use these zip ties. Zip tie that into position. You know, these are cheap too. You could get them, you know, get a whole bunch of them for like $5 at your hardware store or auto parts store. So I did decide against going around the mask this way, because if I go around the mask this way, then there will be wires going over top of the mask. So with little ties, zipped it up here, and then I have the wires running inside of here, running all the way down. Another tie here, and there's the wire, and there's my makeshift battery harness. Little zip ties to hold it in place. Really not going to go anywhere. And if it does, you just pull those. So it's all in there. All I got to do now is trim up the leftover zip ties, and it should be good to go. So now it's just a matter of installing the left and right ear parts, and you can see the wires here. You just move those out of the way, like so. Take your right side, rotate that in, come over here to your left side, and you can see I'm really not doing anything. Once I cinch this down with the strap and the mask retention system, should just fit in there just fine. So when you're cinching it down, you can see there's a notch cut in this. And while you have that notch cut in it, you're going to want to set that in first, because you can see already it's out of line here. But like I said, you're going to use the mask to cinch it down, so you just pop that in, and give it a little pull, and it'll seat right up. Take your strap, line it up inside, rotate it, biggity bam! There you go. You're all set. You see the fan, toggle switch, turn it on. You can see it spinning. Should be good to go. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment, like. I don't really care about subs. I'm just trying to help out the paintball community. So, if you like this little invention, go make one yourself. Reply with a video. Or just make one, take a picture, post it up, tag me in it, and I hope you guys experiment and find your own really cheap methods of keeping your masks from fogging. Just remember to keep the air moving out. This is Maverick. I'll be shooting you on the field.